Hey everybody, this is Shocknado, bringing back another audio commentary, and this commentary is going to be about, love, falling in love, love life, whatever you want to consider under the umbrella of love. Um, I think we all can relate to the feeling of falling in love, whether you've had a girlfriend or not, or had a boyfriend or not. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water. Take a sip of water. Stay hydrated 2026 and going on to 2027. Um, but no, yeah, I feel like we've all had the experience of falling in love, whether it's a boy and a girl and a girl, boy and a boy and a girl, whatever it may be. We've all had that feeling of like, I like that person, I love that person. And whether it's reciprocated or not, you know, you do anything for that person. And it's a really complex feeling that I feel like as humans we can't even understand yet. And, relationships are hard. You know what I mean? I do have to say relationships are hard. You know what I mean? Like I've had some pretty rough relationships before, and I feel like this dating scene nowadays, like I'm thankful for the relationship I'm in now. It's very, it's I don't want to say it's perfect because nothing's perfect. You know, you can't say anything's perfect because that's just wrong, but it's a great relationship, you know what I mean? Like we respect each other, we listen to each other, we have a lot of the same interests, you know what I mean? But there have been relationships that I thought were the one, you know what I mean? That were forever. And then, I sit there and and deal with their bull crap for a year and a half. You know, I am prone to mental health, you know what I mean? Like I said in the last video. So I'm okay with people being depressed. I'm okay with people having bipolar or whatever it may be. And, I'll sit there and watch them get Baker acted and all that kind of mumbo jumbo. And I'll wait for them. And then they get out. And then, if you know anything about people getting Baker acted, it's not a pretty sight to see. But and they get out and everything's better now that they're here. You know what I mean? And then you do something as simple as, just being in a slump, not being your normal self, you know what I mean? Like a wave of depression just washes over you. And as simple as that, snap, they're gone. And it is one of the most frustrating, and don't even get me started about cheating. Don't even get me started about cheating. But it's very frustrating how fast someone you love can get over you as soon as, you are not able to keep up the facade, the image that you were keeping up before. You know what I mean? Like you get tired and then they're just done. It's very frustrating how the standards from social media are plaguing today's relationships. And, that's kind of why I've removed myself from most social medias nowadays, is because of those facades put on by social media or those standards that social media impose upon young couples. And, you know, I, I, I don't even know where to begin on that topic of social media and facades. I really don't. It's just a very depressing a very depressing topic in my opinion, you know. It's probably one of the worst things going on in modern age time. You know, trying to find love is almost impossible without having a partner cheat on you. And, you know, it's not just women, it is men. Men are a part of the problem, just like women are. You know what I mean? It is both genders just going back and forth, cheating, 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 or always worried about their worried about their appearance, or always worried about this and that, wondering if they're making their partner happy or sad. And it's just like, can we all just love? You know what I mean? Can't we just share the love that we have for people? I've never understood it, but it is probably my least favorite thing to have to experience in my life is heartbreak. And no, obviously nobody likes heartbreak, but it is utterly terrible, and I don't think anybody should have to go through that. You know what I mean? Whether it's, you know, you love the girl and she leaves you, you love the girl and she breaks up with, and then, sorry, and she cheats on you, or maybe it just doesn't work out. Like you thought it was gonna work out, but you guys have conflicting views and you guys break up mutually, but it's not very mutual. You know what I mean? There are tons of ways for it to happen, but it does happen, you know, and I want to say there's plenty of fish in the sea, but you know, it'd be kind of ignorant for me to say that. You know what I mean? Like there definitely are plenty of fish in the sea, but like I said, a lot of people will not take that lightly, and you know, I get it. I really do get it. And another thing that bothers me about the dating world nowadays is, you know, like standards, because you know, I'm able to, when I put myself together, I'm able to like get a decent amount of women, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm pretty confident as a guy too, you know what I mean? Like these are my most vulnerable videos, and even just me recording myself, I kind of feel awkward. So, it's definitely like one of my most vulnerable states. But, you know, you'll have like a 5, like as a guy, like he'll be a 5 out of 10, and he can't really even talk to women that well. You know what I mean? And he's on Bumble or something like that, shooting his shot at a solid 8.5. You know what I mean? Like pure fine shit. And it's honestly embarrassing. You know what I mean? And it's just like you try to give him advice, you try to give him advice, and it's just it doesn't hit him. It doesn't hit him, or he's like and then you read over their new text and it doesn't work, and it's just like, what are we doing, bro? Like, I feel like this might be a little ignorant for me to say because everybody's a 10. You know what I mean? Like, we're all beautiful individually. Somebody will find you beautiful. But, you know, objectively, there are 5s as well. There are people that don't look as great as some people. And, you know, I feel like if you're that level, you should be going for a 5. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of like a lot of girls, they don't understand that. You know what I mean? A lot of people that are like overweight or this, that, because I like bigger girls, but I don't like overweight girls. You know what I mean? Like full on morbidly obese, because like you can be overweight because you're short, but you don't look morbidly obese. You know what I mean? There's a ultra difference. There's like a mega difference. And you know, it's just frustrating how so many girls want princess treatment. They want all this and that, and then they don't want to get a job. They want to be supported, and then they go online and they talk about how men don't do anything. while you're sitting at work for 10, 11 hours a day, maybe even 12, raking in the bills to support your house, whether it's like a little house, an apartment, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? And there's tons of ways that this can be different, you know what I mean? Like my GM, my general manager, for example, it's a she, and her man sits at home, plays Battlefield, and streams, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't do anything with his life at all. He just sits there and streams all the time. And I don't think there's anything wrong with content creation or anything like that, but he's not even trying to make YouTube videos after she suggests them. You know what I mean? He doesn't even want to make a TikTok account. It's just kind of wild how somebody can turn out like that, in my opinion. It is, and that calls back to the laziness episode that I made a while back. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like the dating scene in this world, in this age and time, is ultra, ultra depressing. But honestly, I'm just yapping at this point. I'm kind of just spitting nonsense. So I'm gonna catch you guys on the flippity flip, and you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace.